You've got the album coming back out again.
Well, it's a sort of expanded edition with all the extra mixes, like Frankie Knuckles' remix of Love Train and the PWL mix of Americanos, and it's got an extra DVD with all the videos on it, and it's on a label called Cherry Red, and it's quite exciting, really, that it's being rediscovered. I'm, made up, as we say in Liverpool.
I bet you are, but then I do believe that a lot of the acts that were around in the 80s that were so very, very good, the late 80s, early 90s, they are starting to come back to the forefront because some of that music was just so good.
Well, music today seems a little bland by comparison. It's almost like, music made by committee or, straight out of the laptop or computer, and it doesn't seem to have the craftsmanship attached to it than music from that era. It is interesting that 16-year-olds are sort of emailing me and saying I really like this record or whatever, and there's a kind of interest in music of that era from younger people, which is bizarre to me, but I'm quite happy about it.
I'm not surprised. I mean, we were talking the other day to a singer and a young artist, and they were saying that they've taken the hard route. They want to learn their craft rather than go the X Factor route. They want to learn the craft and be involved in the business, and the one problem that we feel when somebody goes onto the X Factor or any one of those shows, they take a raw talent and polish it. And quite often it's the raw talent that's the good thing. Do you agree?
To a point, I wouldn't say it was an easy route going on to the X Factor. I think, those people are in a very high pressure environment and are thrust into, overnight national fame, and there's nothing easy about that. I can tell you from experience, and it's a different sort of route, and fraught with more dangers in a way. But I think both ways of doing it, gigging around the clubs, which I had to do, and developing as a songwriter and, not depending on cover versions or professional songwriters. They're just two very different sides of the coin in the music industry. And they're both relevant. There's always been show people who have songs written for them or do cover versions. And there's always been sort of more independent folk singers, rock singers, etc., that have come through another route. So I don't look down on any aspect of the music industry, because all of it is a difficult route,
Yeah. Now, you've also made a slight diversion into art, as I understand, and had an exhibition at the Tate in Liverpool.
Well, I have exhibited at the Tate. Peter Blake, or Sir Peter Blake as he is now, invited me a couple of years ago to put a piece in his collage exhibition. But visual artwork is something I was always interested in, and I was just starting art college when the Frankie Goes to Hollywood thing took off. And in 2001, I turned a certain age and decided to, reinvestigate that side of myself and go back to art college. And I did a couple of years at the Royal College of Art here in London in fine art department. And it's something, I really enjoyed doing. It's a very sort of therapeutic, and it's another side of me that I wanted to investigate.
Fantastic. I think it must be wonderful when you have a talent like that, because a lot of people tell me that painting is very, very relaxing. Do you find that?
Well, it can be, but you can also struggle with the problem of, what to do next and how this colour interacts with another colour or, this shape, etc. So it can be relaxing, but it's also an interesting challenge. And perhaps less strenuous physically than singing and touring, etc. So, there's something... I really don't want to be schlepping around the world, when I'm 75. I think, and I'd like, an occupation for when I'm a bit older. Thank you very much.
A proper job, yeah.
Well, I don't know if being an artist is a proper job.
No.
But, it's something that interests me and I enjoy doing.
Now, one of my favourite tracks that I guess you've ever recorded is The Power of Love.
Oh, yeah, that's one of my favourites too, I must say.
I do love that track. Now, I on the reissued Blast, is there a cover of that on there?
No, but I did revisit that song on an album called Soul Stream, which will be reissued next March. But that version is also up on iTunes. I think I performed it on Later, the Jules Holland show a couple of years ago, and that song kind of somehow is my saviour in a way. I don't really know how to put it into words, but I think of everything I ever sang, that one will sort of survive in some form, in the future. I think Il Divo did a Spanish version.
They did.
Yeah. Which, I don't know what they were on about. No one sent me a translation or anything like that. But it's quite interesting that an act like that, for opera singers, would, have a go.
Well, it just seems to show the depth of that song. I saw you do it on Jules Holland.
Okay.
Only on TV. And I thought, wow, it's just so moving. There was so much power in that song. Love it. I really do.
Yeah, I think it somehow protects me, that song, from... rack and ruin.